Did you know you were going to fight him as aggressively as you did because of how injured you were in the first fight and how you wanted to correct that in the second fight? Or did you just get in there and feel the emotions of the moment?
No, that was all part of the plan. And Glover even did an interview, and he said, you guys are going to see the difference in the first round. So it was all planned out.
For the most part, during the lead up to this, to not taking some of the words said by him or whoever was saying it for him and the personal attacks that were made on him. But realistically, how much of a grudge did you hold against him for those words?
I don't let it really affect me, and that's why I even said, ask Dana in the press conference how many times I turned down a fight, and Dana said he's never turned down a fight, even when he's traveling on vacation, whatever it was. But he said a lot of things that I was going to go back and work at a tire shop, and just a lot of things through this whole time that he shouldn't have said.
So I was going to ask you, in the face-off, you were caught on camera saying, I don't want to go back to the tire shop. Obviously, the people who followed your story understand the significance of that. But for those who don't, what is the significance behind those words, and why did you feel you had to tell him that at that moment?
I wanted to remind myself of that. I wanted me to remember that moment and kind of put that responsibility on me of not wanting to go back to the tire shop, because a lot of people ask, how'd you make it from, the tire shop to being a world champion? And it's what I've told myself all along, that I wasn't going to go back to that. So I wanted to remember that. But I'm going to go to Brazil, and I'm going to go to the tire shop, but I'm taking this belt right here.
That's awesome. Last one from me. I don't know if you're aware of this yet, but middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev has called you out and said that congratulations, but now you guys need to finish your business. Are you aware of what business that is, and are you interested in him moving up to fight you at this stage?
Thanks for congratulating me, but all I want is a super fight. I want to fight at heavyweight, but all I can say is thank you. You've finished another fight in the first round. You used your power. What do you feel in that moment finishing the fight so quickly? I was just thinking of everything I went through in the first fight and what I wanted to do, and Glover called it. He said it in the interviews because he was seeing what I was doing in the gym, and exactly what he said exactly happened. You've shown yourself to be able to adapt to any opponent. What changed in your preparation and your training to be able to make such a different fight? I had already prepared for him, but I wasn't feeling well to be able to implement what I had trained for. So I knew what I had to do, and I just had to take care of myself and come back and do it.
Alex Pereira, I know you said you're interested in a super fight. Can you elaborate on that? Is it the winner of Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane, or it sounded like maybe before everything happened with John Jones in his personal life, you were maybe planning a call out of him?
I'll answer his question, and I'll answer this subject one time. And, I with all due respect, with all the respect I have for the situation, and I've said this in the back, a lot of people try to create a lot of stuff around this. So, again, please, with all the respect, I was going to ask for John Jones in the White House, but with everything that happened, it's not the right time to talk about it.
If you did go to heavyweight, we're seeing now a lot that the champions have to vacate their belt when they're moving up. Are you willing to part ways with that title if you go to heavyweight?
I don't think that's needed. Everyone knows how often I fight, so that's not going to be an issue.
When Dana White was in here, he didn't seem over the moon about the idea of you fighting at heavyweight. If you could send a message to him, I'm sure you'll have meetings and stuff, but what would your pitch be to move up to heavyweight?
Não precisa. A gente teve conversa lá atrás.
No need. We already talked backstage.
What did he say?
O que ele falou?
Segredo.
It's a secret.
Okay. And just lastly, if you do stay in this division, obviously Yuri Prochazka had a big knockout tonight. Carlos Alberg won last week. Are you interested in a third fight with Yuri if you stay in this division, or do you feel it has to be the fresh opponent?
The best, whoever's the best.
Did you watch the fight between Jiri and Khalil, and what did you think of that one?
It's pretty much what I thought. Jiri's a guy who moves around a lot. He's got a lot of movement, and Khalil's a guy that's more, picking his shots and more planning. And I was even talking backstage with my team that I felt like Khalil was moving more, and I think that's something that took a toll on him. He's a guy who's not used to so much moving, and then he started moving, and I think that gassed him out.
I don't know if they've shown you or you saw, but when you won, Jiri was there in the audience, and he was very emotional. He was very happy for you. Obviously, you two have some history. What does it mean to you that your peers were very happy for you in that moment?
I think it's great. He even came back when I was doing my medical, and he just wanted to come and say hi to me. And him and Khalil are just great guys, and very respectful, and Yuri's just a very polite and respectful guy.
One final one. Would you say it meant more to yourself to prove that you were still the best, or did it mean more to you to prove to everybody else that you're still the best?
I'm just doing my job, you know. Sometimes you do a lot of things, and it's up to other people to judge it. So, you know, if people decide that I'm the best one day, then great. And if not, that's fine too. My family's doing well. My friends are doing well. And that's, in the end, that's what matters.
Alex, over here, you were celebrating in the back with Marab. You two are both the most active champions. What was that moment to share that title with him tonight?
It's great. He's got really great energy, and I always tell him that he's got an amazing cardio, and you can tell that he works a lot on it. He's really dedicated to himself. So, you know, it's really great and impressive to see.
Congratulations, Alex. I don't know if you saw the article on MMA Fighting this week about from Max Cavalera talking about your walkout, and his new Soulfly album called Chama is a tribute to you in Brazil. Have you seen any of that article?
Yeah, I knew about it, and I think it's awesome. But, you know, I was really focused on the fight, so now I can take the time and actually look at everything else. And I'm going to Brazil, so maybe I could even meet up with him.
Alex, obviously it's been countless amount of times where you've hyped up the crowd and to tell them to say Shama, but that moment at the end where you were raising your hands up, how special was that? Would you say that was the best one out of all of them?
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, I could tell people were going crazy in there, and I just felt like I wanted something more. I wanted to make it even more, so I threw my arms up, and you could really feel the vibe inside that arena.
And how's your toe? I saw you were grabbing it at the end.
Yeah, it's my foot, and I'm pretty sure it's broken. But, you know, I had a really good strategy that I saw that worked for Blachowicz. The inside calf kicks were working. I threw a few of those, and then he switched stances, and I think I was in the wrong range, and I threw another kick to his lead leg, and it landed on the tip of my foot, and I think it's broken.